Hey guys, naMehTnoJ here, back with another Who's Better video. This Who's Better is Solemn Warning versus Solemn Judgment. Now first I'll explain what they do and such. Solemn Warning is a counter trap card. It's also a spell 3 type 3. Everything else is either 1 or 2 and everything else. Counter trap cards are, just a little quick fact here is, counter trap cards are the highest speed spell, which means they can negate anything, and the only thing that can negate them or stop them is counter trap cards. And the only thing that can be changed to them as well, in general, is counter trap cards. Not monster effects, not spell cards, only counter trap cards. So first, Solemn Warning says, pay 2,000 life points to negate the summon of a monster, or this activation of a spell card, trap card, or effect monster's effect that includes an effect that special summons a monster or monsters and destroy that card. Now Solemn Warning is also a counter trap card and says, pay half of your life points, negate an activation of a spell card, trap card, normal summon, flip summon, special summon, and destroy that spell card, trap card, or summon monster. And what it means by that is if your opponent activates a spell, you can chain it to negate the spell. If your opponent activates a monster, or summons a monster, I should say, you can chain it to destroy the monster. You do not negate everything, you just negate one thing with Solemn Judgment. Now, quickly, this is a monster's effect that special summons something, or spell card, trap card, special summons a monster in general. Solemn Judgment just says flip summon, normal summon, or special summon, or spell or trap card, not anything that says that special summons a monster. So that will actually make a big difference in when you're playing these cards. So first, I'll show you what these can stop. Obviously they can stop Monster Reborn. Now real quickly here, if you activate Monster Reborn, you have the option to neither chain or not to chain Solemn Warning or Judgment. The only difference here is that when you activate Monster Reborn, if you don't negate it and a monster is summoned, you cannot negate the summon afterwards because the summon's been complete and is done. You chose not to negate this activation of Monster Reborn, so just know that. You can't be like, oh, you summon your Cyber Dragon after Monster Reborn's resolved, you change Judgment. No, that's an illegal play actually. You can't do that. Next, obviously they can negate Emergency Teleport, same with Monster Reborn. You have to negate the actual card itself. Or Call the Haunted, all popular cards still. Another thing is that these can negate is, Junk Synchron. Once again, Solemn Warning can negate the summon of Junk Synchron, or even the effect that special summons a monster, but you still destroy the card in general. So, he's gone. Both of these cards also negate the inherent special summon of stuff like Cyber Dragon, or stuff like Synchro summons like Draw Warrior. Now also, Draw Warrior I'm going to explain real quick here. But yeah, they both negate the inherent special summons of monsters. So, one thing with Draw Warrior, if you remove him from play, if I'm correct here, I may be slightly wrong, but once he's removed from play, let's say you don't negate his initial summon, you drop a card, remove him from play, next turn, you summon to your opponent's side of the field, or you return to your side of the field, I should say, if you remove them, and you have Warning on the field, and he's summoned. You can negate his summon because his effect says special summon himself. So his effect says to special summon him. Solemn Warning can negate him. Now if I'm correct, Solemn Judgment can't because he's already been summoned. And it's not an inherent special summon, his secondary effect. What I'm talking about, if you don't synchro with him, if you let this synchro happen, the summoning, and then use his effect, Solemn Judgment cannot negate his effect because it only says a special summon, normal summon, or flip summon. And those have to be, for a special summon, it has to be usually inherent in most cases, depending on the special summon. So, Draw Warrior cannot be destroyed and negated by Solemn Judgment, only Warning. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty darn positive that it is like that. Next, Lad. Now, when your opponent initially summons Lad, you can activate, if your opponent summons Lad and you activate Judgment, Lad cannot negate Judgment because Judgment is a highest speed spell. This is spell speed 2, if I'm correct. So your opponent cannot go, oh, well, my lad will obviously negate judgment. That's wrong. It will actually destroy lad, and then lad can special summon another monster. Now, if lad is destroyed by battle, let's say, and he's not his initial summon isn't negated, and let's say he's destroyed, and your opponent activates warning. They can activate warning on his special summon effect. This summons one from the graveyard. But Solemn Judgment can't, because it's an effect that special summons a monster. Once again, Solemn Judgment cannot negate lad's special summoning effect. So just mind that. Also, Solemn Warning has some benefits, as well as negating stuff like lad or drill warrior. It can also stop battle monster or battle recruiters. Judgment can't. It can negate the initial summon of the monster during the main phase, but Judgment cannot negate it during the damage step like Warning can. Now, mind you, counter traps can be activated during the damage step at any point, because they're the only spell speed type that can. So if your opponent searches something like Drunk Synchron with, let's say, Tomato through the battle phase, Warning can be activated, but Judgment can't. Mind that. Also, since Warning can negate the effect of a monster that special summons something, it can also negate Gore's, Battle Fader, and Jagodia. Now, why? Is because it says the effect of effect monster's effect that special summons a monster. So Gore's effect is to special summon him and plus a token if you take battle damage. Judgment can't, because it says special summon, flip summon, or normal summon. Now, sure, it says special summon. You're like, well, why can't it? Because it's an effect that special summons a monster. Warning or Solemn Judgment does not say that. So that's the reason why it's a little superior. One's superior to the other, obviously, here. Also, Royal Oppression. The reason why Warning's better than Oppression to most degrees is because it can negate Gores. If Gore face-up trap cards, such as Royal Oppression, cannot be activated during the damage step. So if your opponent special summons Gores on you while you have Royal Oppression on the field, you cannot negate Gore's summon with Royal Oppression. You can with Warning, but you can't with Judgment or Royal Oppression. Now, the way to get around these cards is Mystical Space Typhoon during the end phase, but another thing with Warning is it cannot negate actual spell trap cards that do not include the effect of special summoning a monster, so mind that. But Judgment can, because he says spell trap card, whatever, what have you, Another thing is to stop them right away. When they set like 3 cards in the back row and you have this face down already, just flip it and you stop both these from becoming problems for you later on. Or other counter traps which can actually stop these, like Dark Bribe or 7 Tools of the Bandit, which has actually seen a lot of play because Warning is a great card. Now, another contradictory card sometimes people might think that it may not work or work against. Jinzo actually is a different card as well, like Lad. If you summon Jinzo and your opponent has Solemn Warning or Judgment, they can negate and destroy Jinzo's summon any way he comes out, except through Monster Reborn, because it's already resolved by that time. But if you choose not to negate Monster Reborn's activation. Now, if you summon Jinzo and your opponent has Bottomless Trap Hole, they cannot activate Bottomless Trap Hole because its spell speed is type 2, if I'm correct. Jinzo's already on the field and his effect's already kicked in. But the reason with Judgment and Warning is that they're higher spell speed and they can negate the actual summon before his effect kicks in. It may seem kind of confusing, but it is true. You can ask a judge and they will probably tell you otherwise, or tell you what I just said. So, another thing is, like, if you summon Jinzo and your opponent activates Torrential Tribute, that's an illegal play for them. They can activate Warning or Judgment, but they cannot activate Torrential Tribute or Bottomless Trap Hole because Jinzo's effect is already kicked in. Therefore, neither Bottomless Trap Hole or Torrential Tribute can be activated. So mind that. So before I go, I'll explain the benefits of both these. Warning, this effect says pay 2,000 life points. So it's not half your life points right away. If you're at 8,000, okay, you're at 6,000 now. But if Judgment, it says half your life points. Now, the thing with Warning is if you activate, or you can't activate Warning if your life points are 2,000 or less at the time when Warning's trying to be activated. Mind that. So if you have 2,000 or less, you cannot activate Warning. Judgment can. So there's benefits to both. And another thing is that, each one, this one's at 1, this one's at 3 in the current format that we're in right now. So But yeah, which would you choose if you had a choice to choose one of these to run? If I were to say it, I would actually say warning to a degree. But if there was 3 judgments, I would actually go 3 judgments, because judgment is just that much better. So yeah, make sure to vote which one you would choose, and remember, each one has its own benefits. So that's pretty much it, guys, and peace out.